But it all comes down to what you wanna believe. One smile and you had planted a seed. Oh, now I don't need to dream away. Hey, hey. Once upon a time, I was searching the sky. Once upon a time, for the cloud number 9. Once upon a time.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Sister to Sister. Today's episode is about the Jussie Smollett saga. So let me make an introduction. Jussie Smollett is a 36-year-old African-American gay actor on a very popular hit television show called The Empire. He has 5 siblings and all of them are successful actors. Jussie has been acting since he was a young boy, but his role on Empire brought him to prominence. It is safe to say that he was America's darling. He hadn't gotten into any trouble prior. He didn't have colorful tattoos. He didn't spill out of parties drunk. He wasn't obscene in any way. He was a likable guy. And it was great for Empire, Lee Daniels, to cast him in that role because we needed that wonderful gay actor to be a representation for the gay community. I am a huge supporter of the gay community. I grew up as a model. Majority of the designers, makeup artists, hairstylists were all gay. The most creative, the most wonderful, the most sensitive people that I have ever met. And I have many of them in my life. I don't even like to describe them as gay. I describe them as who they are. John, Paul, Peter, whatever. It's like somebody telling me, oh, Black Fumi, if you know what I mean. But it was great that Empire had this wonderful gay actor. And that happened to be Jussie Smollett. Like I said, he came from a wonderful family. Unfortunately, his father has passed away, but his mother still lives. On the 29th of January, Jussie Smollett called the police in relation to an attack that he had just survived. It was a homophobic as well as a racist attack. He had been beaten up by 2 white men, so he said, in masks, that had thrown bleach on him and they had put a noose around his neck. I saw this on social media and my instant reaction was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this poor guy is going to go through trauma. I didn't disbelieve it for a second. I thought the trauma, the aftermath, he's going to need treatment. Apparently, he had been attacked outside his house, sub-zero weather, 2 a.m., on his way or coming from ordering food. That was what he said. These 2 men confronted him and said, aren't you from Empire? Aren't you that gay guy? And they proceeded to do this horrific act on him and then shout at MAGA, which means Donald Trump's slogan, Make America Great Again. You can imagine, if you can go back to that day when you found out or when you read this news, it was horrific. Everybody shouted out for justice. Naomi Campbell, Viola Davis, Halle Berry spoke so highly of you. Lee Daniels, Steve Harvey, the names go on and on and on, including myself. I posted on my Insta stories and I said, Jussie, I said, God be with you. I lift you up in prayer. I am so very sorry that this happened to you. And it bothered me for a day or 2. Again, I have a baby, so I'm running around doing a whole bunch of things. A couple of days later, I read an article where it said, and this was my first bell that went off in my head. And it wasn't necessarily a sign or anything, but it was strange. The police arrived at his residence 40 minutes after the incident took place. I was fine with that. The shock, the horror of it all, it could be even an hour before you call the police. I can understand, because you don't know what is happening to you. We did not know the seriousness of the injuries. He might have not known where he was. He might have not known whether they were going to come back. Being alone, he might have been vulnerable. I can understand all of that. What I didn't understand was when the police arrived at his residence, he still had the noose around his neck. As a black individual, we know the horrors of what slave trade did to so many black people, Africans, African Americans. We know what that noose represents. And I know instinct, you would throw it off of your head. You would snatch it off. That's the first thing, because it's almost like keeping your hand on a hot stove. You can't do it. You will instantly take your hand off. You would instantly take that noose off of your neck. His response to it was he did not want to mess around with forensics. I didn't understand that. Forensics what? They would have still had DNA, skin, tissue, saliva on the rope. Why keep it on your neck? As a matter of fact, you'd be mixing your DNA and your saliva and your skin tissue on the rope, which you would not want. You would take it off instantly. I found that terribly strange. Secondly, the police had body cams. They placed cameras onto their bodies. It is to protect them, it's to protect victims, it's to also record whatever they might miss in a situation because of panic, because of frantic, because you're not thinking. They can go back and they can look at the body cams and see what they missed. He wanted them to take it off. Why would you want that? I thought that was very bizarre. He didn't want to hand over his phone. That was very strange to me. I called my sister, Ronke, you know her very well, and I said, what's going on with Jussie Smollett? I thought that perhaps he was hiding something else. Perhaps he was with a lover whom he did not want to disclose the identity. I found it extremely hard to think that all of this was a hoax. It was just too extreme. So I thought, oh, he must have been with somebody. Then this terrible thing happened. Then when I was talking with my sister, we said maybe he approached an individual and this individual beat him up. And for whatever reason, perhaps it got out of control and the police got involved. Perhaps there was a policeman walking down the street and saw the fracas, and now it became a case. As time went on, people began to hold their breath, because we were quickly beginning to realize that there were so many holes in the story. Chicago was embarrassed, I can imagine, for this terrible thing to happen in their city that they're so proud of, because this is where empire is being shot. Celebrities became mum, myself included, eyes wide open, just waiting for the next story, holding our breath, wondering what was going on. The next thing, we find out that the two men are Nigerian boys. They actually know Smollett. In some stories, they lived in the building, or they worked out together at the gym, or Smollett had hired them previously to help him get into top physical shape. They had just come back to the States after having a holiday in Nigeria when they were arrested. It wasn't up to 10 minutes, I know that's an exaggeration, before they were brought into the dark room and they sang like canaries. Smollett orchestrated the entire thing, hired them. They started to fill in all of the gaps that the police didn't even have at that time. Today, he faces 16 felony charges, and he can be in jail for a very, very, very long time. Do I think that he should be in jail for 10, 20, 30 years? Absolutely not. Should he be punished? Absolutely. What an embarrassment. What a shame. This was a young guy who had everything. You were on a hit show that was coming to its end. This season was the last season. So you had 2 episodes or so, and that was it. Everybody kept on racking their brain. Why would he do this? What would be the motive? Why would he send a letter to himself being threatened because he was gay, because he was black? Money. Money, money, money. He wanted more money. I could not believe it. Jussie Smollett, according to what I read, was being paid $125,000 or just a little lower per episode. How many episodes? 18 episodes in a year. Aside from that, he had his music, he had his concerts, he had other monies that of course he would have been getting from brands and so on and so forth, commercials, what have you. You have families of 5, 6, mom, dad, 4 children that live off of $30,000 a year, and they're grateful for it. They pay their taxes, they've got their insurance in place, the children are going to school, they're fed, they have their 3 meals, clothes on their back. You have approximately $125,000 per episode. You were not satisfied with that. You wanted more. Jussie, I don't know what you were thinking. I don't know what you were thinking. You weren't thinking. You embarrassed the entire black community worldwide. Do you know how many countries carried your story? Over 75. I just don't understand. You had a hit TV show. You were making money. You're an attractive guy. You come from an acting family. You're doing better than most. Better than most by far. And you hired 2 guys to come and beat you up so that you could sell this to us so that you could get more money. And yet the entire world, yes, was there in support of you. It was such a horrific story. We were there for you, but you're not there for us. You don't care about us. You care about yourself. What will become of his career? Nothing. It's finished now. You have to understand that they've already removed him from the last 2 episodes of Empire. They had to, because he is a gay character that represents so much positivity, so much light, that is a slap in the face. If he continued, they wouldn't make any sense. Would he get paid for those episodes? I'm sure he would. Is Lee Daniels humiliated? Absolutely, I'm sure. And all of us that supported you, we don't know what to say. We don't know which way to look. We're embarrassed. You've embarrassed us. This could have gone out of hand. There could have been a riot with the Trump supporters. This could have gotten out of hand. There could have been riots. Now, Jussie, you don't have any career. You don't have any money. As a matter of fact, you have a crisis management that you have hired for $100,000 to help you with this case. So you're losing money. For what? For greed. For pure, unadulterated greed. And this is not us. As a black community, this is not us. We are not liars. We are not thieves. We are not greedy. We work hard. We do not stand for this. We will not tolerate this. Absolutely not. He has to be punished. The 2 Nigerian boys, what a disgrace. But I give them one thing. At least, unlike Smollett, they have spoken the truth. Jussie is yet to speak the truth. He is yet to stop insulting our intelligence and give us that respect and speak the truth. You have sullied your father's name. Going forward, anybody that cries wolf will have to look. We can't just jump and support. Not when a guy like you wears the mask of such mischief. And you know, Jussie, what you have done shows you didn't believe in yourself, because we thought you were talented. You could sing, you could act. That's a double whammy. You had a prominent role in Empire. You could have gone on to do films. You could have gone on to do so many other things. And you chose this as an option. You sat down for your interview and you lied through your teeth. Hollywood is very liberal. They're very laid back. And for this to happen, they said, no, Fox, Universal, they were like, no. We have to cut this right now. I lived in LA. I was a struggling actor, extra. I did so many. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'll tell you right now. I was an extra non-union. We earned $68 or was it $58 a day as non-union extra work. That is what I earned until I became a union member. To become a union member, you have to have 3 principal roles in a film or various films, television shows before you qualify to pay back then $1,500 to become a union member. SAG, Screen Actors Guild. Then you have AFTRA, which is television. And even then, it just upped to where I was making $200 a day because of overtime. And then of course we had commercials and stuff like that, so on and so forth. Sometimes I would get big parts, sometimes I would get principal featured roles. So I was going home with approximately $3,500 a month, and that covered my car note, it covered my insurance, my registration, my rent, and then costumes, photo shoots, headshots, everything towards my career. That was how we hustled out in LA, and I'm talking about 10 years ago. And here you are just making $125,000 an episode, and you wanted more. And I was grateful, and I was happy because I was a working actor. Here I am on YouTube, and I'm grateful. It's about the passion which I've always had and has never died. I don't know what is to become of him, but I personally feel he should never work in Hollywood again. I don't want to ever see his face again. I will never support him ever again. I want this to be a standard for those who don't appreciate what they have, because I know so many people that are struggling, and they are honest, and they're steadfast, and they're dedicated, and they are consistent regardless of whatever comes. He does not deserve anything that has come his way. He has rubbished all of the accolades that we have given him. The Commissioner of Police in Chicago made a very sound statement, and I stand by that. For every lie that you told the FBI, it's a felony. Federal charges. And the police had to waste their time because I sincerely believe that they were equally shocked, and they wanted to get to the bottom of this. I don't expect much from him at this point. I've spoken my piece. His punishment, I feel that he should contribute to the gay community, guaranteed for sure. To those that have suffered hate crimes, absolutely. I truly believe that if Jussie does have any kind of mental problems, then he should be put into a mental institution, but he should not walk away free. He has to be accountable for what has happened here. That's all that I have to say. Again, my darlings, leave all of your comments down below. I love reading everything that you have to say. We do not have to agree. I like to have a healthy, polite conversation, and I will see you soon. Thank you for watching.